Okay. Cosmology of Change and Movement, part 5, I guess. Must have made a mistake on the last one. So we get back to these relationships between 2 points. Opposing, you're straight in front. You can trade or switch or swap places. You can concede, or you can agree on directions, movements, whatnot. So you speak, I speak at the same time, are informations like they confront, they go in front of each other. You speak, I receive, I listen. I create an empty space into myself so that I can be filled with your words or informations or ideas. So we agree, we harmonize. We get both silent. We can be silent in a harmonized way, but we can split or dissociate or distantiate each other from each other, even while being present. So this goes like this, 2 points going away from each other. If we are tied together, we saw that the movement creates a stretching, it creates a tension, a stress. If this stress increases, it goes from elastic stress that can recreate or refine its shape after distortion, and this stress will create a tear. It will break down. The same goes for compression on the other side. I pile matter together, I fill in all the empty spaces. At one point, the only place where pressure can go is at the next scale. So it will push not only people together, but parts of people against parts of people. It will crush my organs together until eventually something breaks. So you find this common depiction in all the material sciences. You have stress, elastic deformation, giving to plastic deformation, which is elastic is something that can go back to its former configuration. Plastic is durable or permanent deformation. Plastic deformation goes to a point of rupture, a tear point. You still have some links, but part of it is separated, and then it goes to rupture, complete rupture, separation. You find this in both directions, going away from or going towards each other. The entire narrative of how our stars are created is an attractive force gathering things together, piling up matter. The gravitational pull between these will create lower and higher and higher density, lower and lower emptiness compared to the fullness, till the point when the gravitational pull is stronger than the electronuclear forces that hold the atoms together. At this point, supposedly you go into massive explosion, and massive explosion including fusions. So this depiction of two existing beings in a frame of reference in space, moving towards or away from each other, or moving relative to each other, will give us the basic framework of relationships, especially relationships in stress, for instance. It's a basic framework of relationships. You'll have the many reactions to stress: flee. So it's often depicted with the many F's: fight, freeze, fawn, flop, faint, flow eventually, which is something, the fluid aspect of it. So what happens? You have two forces coming towards each other. They can have different goals. Say I can be walking and a person in front is walking, and my goal is on the other side of this person. So a person is just an obstacle. If in the same way I'm just an obstacle for him for a goal that's further away, the easiest way for both of us to actually reach our goals would be to collaborate, to pass around each other. If we bump into each other, we create physical opposition. So both vector force will compete. The stronger push will decide which direction it will take. It will be slowed down by the other one and spend energy to push away the other one. And if sufficient pressure is created, as we saw for the galaxies, you can destroy your insides, you can break some things. So that's basically what happens when we trade blows, for instance. Think of two rams ramming into each other's head. This is the relationship of opposition. Another way of seeing it is aggression. Aggression means walking towards something. Two beings walk towards each other. They can embrace each other, but aggression doesn't take this meaning. So aggression is both are competing for something. So you'd have the same different frameworks used to depict the different types of situations that you can find yourself in. So the martial arts are basically opposition arts. They're the only arts exploring in a fairly controlled laboratory what interpersonal opposition can be like. But interpersonal opposition can be perceived as opposition because we're facing each other, but our goals may be to just go back to our families or go through. So there, the bumping into each other is a lack of skills. We just need to avoid each other or dance with each other, blend and blend. Or it can be that one of the two incoming persons is the target of the other one. So it can be a prey-predator relationship, be very, very seldom seen with two creatures, one being the prey, the other being the predator, facing and squaring each other. The actual relationship of predation is not it's not a duel. It's not fighting that you look for. You don't want your Big Mac to get back at you and try to bite your hands or bite your neck. So what you go for is basically predation is execution. You want no ability to respond whatsoever. You want no awareness, no ability to flee, so prevent perception, prevent movement, prevent flock, which would be the gathering of social support. You do not go for fawn, which would be like giving up and showing that you submit to anything the other one wants to do. Because what the other one wants to do in this case, maybe eat you. So this would be predation. This squaring off is mostly what we find in aggression. And aggression is a social opposition. It's called intraspecific. So it's basically most of the time against members of the same species or the same in-group. You want to establish dominance, you want to get access to territory, resources, partners, status, power, whatnot. The relationships you can get from this first incoming meeting is one can try to go away, flee, to avoid, go around, to dominate, go above, crush, and to freeze, stop, go passive, disconnect completely. So this will give you a framework: fight, flee, fight, freeze, fawn, whatnot. One can submit to the other one and resolve the situation this way. These options can be seen simply as directional relationships. I stop, one dominates. I stop, one goes away. I stop, I go, one goes around. And the actual options of any conflict, but also of any relationship of movement, will always be like this. I can go towards the ball and try to exert more pressure than the ball will. I can go towards the ball and recede when it arrives. I can go around the ball trying to escape the relationship. I can deflect the ball by moving it sideways or any other way. I can stop doing anything and submit to whatever the ball wants to do. I can collect other parts of the body. I can use sort of social help to support myself, to brace for something. So you find all these different options lined up, and you'd have the depiction of ecological relationship with pictures of plus, zero or minus, depicting relationship positive, neutral for zero or negative. So minus is often depicted as competition, plus is mutualism, and the matrix that you create with 9 values in between will depict all the variations in between. Predation is plus, minus, and neutrality 0, commensalism plus 0, amensalism minus 0. These plus and minus can be thought of as movements. Plus is going against, minus is receding. Minus is minus is dividing and eventually breaking apart relationship. Plus is invading, congregating, eating, taking over to build up the self. And in between, plus could be mutualism too, so symbiosis would be the same. We can add and embrace. We can add and include, integrate. Or we can add and fight. And the same would go for all the other depictions of movement. And these will guide all the rest.